Supporting new mothers experiencing postpartum depression. This legislative session, $1 million was approved to help people facing the challenges of parenthood. In addition, their own emotional and mental health struggles. To learn more about this effort, I'm joined by Tabitha Million and Jasmine Williams with the Doulas for All organization. Thank you guys for being here.
Hi,
Thank you.
Hi.
Thanks for having us.
And Jasmine, to start, according to the CDC, 1 in 8 mothers experience symptoms of postpartum depression. With numbers like this, do you believe there is a disparity in care for new moms?
Yes, there definitely is. And I think it goes more than just beyond postpartum depression. We actually call it postpartum mood and anxiety disorders. And so it shows up in so many different ways, especially for Black and Indigenous folks. So being able to have a birth doula Medicaid reimbursement that expands on the postpartum care that we're able to provide families is really going to help expand that coverage of care and that long-term support that they need as they heal and adjust to new parenthood.
And can you guys tell us about your efforts to lobby state lawmakers and get this funding for people right here in our state?
Yeah, absolutely. So the Doulas for All Coalition, which is comprised of birth workers and birth doulas, have been lobbying their own bills and legislation for the past 4 to 5 years. We don't pay a lobbyist to do this. We really have just learned along the way how to talk to our legislators about the need to create the Medicaid reimbursement for birth doulas in order to increase better outcomes for Indigenous and Black birthing people. So that's, we've just been doing it all on our own.
Wow, it just shows the power of a woman when determined, for sure. Okay, so can you explain the role of a doula? What specific services will this money go towards? You touched on it a little bit, but explain the specifics of this.
Yeah, so I would also like to start with that of saying doula is like saying doctor. There are so many different types of doulas, and this current Medicaid reimbursement covers for birth doula support. So for birth doulas, we are not like midwives. We do not catch babies, but we help with providing resources, information, emotional and physical support during the pregnancy, labor, and postpartum. For this money that we were able to receive, it's going towards our doula hub. So that's going to help with the development and with the sustainability of our workforce. And then it's also going to support with our doula directory as well and our referral system. So not just putting money into folks creating doula practices, but also making sure that the families that are on Medicaid are able to connect to doulas that are from their background, their culture, speak their language, and it's a statewide doula directory as well. And so it's also something that providers are going to be able to use to help connect with doulas and work on that collaborative care piece that our families really deserve and need.
And you guys are doing great answering these questions. Do you guys briefly have a story or a case that kind of sticks out of why this type of care is so important for access to all mothers of income?
Yeah, so if open, I can kind of share my birth story a little bit. I gave birth to my youngest in 2019 at a hospital in Seattle. Almost lost her during birth. And also she was born with blood incompatibility jaundice and needed to be on a billy bed for the first 5 days. So not only was I at a hospital with her, I wasn't receiving the lactation support that I needed. I felt like I wasn't being heard by my providers. And a friend of mine actually stepped forward who was a doula, provided me with that support, and also helped me process my birth experience too. That let me know what I went through, helped provide me with information to connect to resources, and actually ultimately connected me into becoming a doula as well. And so we have a lot of instances like that where a lot of folks come into this profession, they answer the calling, as we say, because of their own birth experiences.
And coming together, banding together to help. Okay, briefly, we have time for one more question. Tabitha, how can we better bridge this care gap, and what's next?
Basically, getting the word out that doulas help to decrease instances of interventions. So an intervention is anything from Pitocin to cesarean. induction, many interventions can come up. And with a birth doula, you can become more informed as to what your options are and be able to make informed decisions about what you want to do with your body in whatever birthing setting that you choose. So tell your friends that Medicaid now in Washington State covers birth doula services. So to prepare for birth, you'll have a birth doula during your labor and delivery, and then also for postpartum care, there's 20 hours of postpartum support that you can get for free. And most people can't, when they can't afford a birth doula, they may not be able to afford postpartum services, which is really going to help decrease instances of being rehospitalized, or helping people to get connected with resources for mental health, for physical well-being, and just also for parenting support.
Okay, Tabitha, Jasmine, we look forward to checking in with you again to see how all this is working. Thank you for your time.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you.